Hi, I'm Marc Sklar, the fertility expert, and if you've heard about a little bit about bone broth from me or somebody else, have questions about how it can help you and your fertility, I encourage you to watch the rest of this video. Well, hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in and watching one of our new videos on, in this case, on bone broth and fertility and health. I'm here with Steve of H.O.P.E Broth, and he's here to tell us a little bit about his company, a little bit about the benefits of bone broth, and we're just going to have a little conversation. Hopefully you enjoy that, okay? So, Steve, I know when I was a little kid, I grew up in a family, and my grandparents, my grandmothers from both sides, would always be cooking chicken soup. Bone broth wasn't really referred to as chicken soup chicken soup wasn't referred to bone broth back then, and now it's kind of flip-flopped. But anytime I got sick or needed a little bit of comfort and a little bit of love, my grandparents would always cook up some chicken soup. My mom did as well. It was never as shh, don't tell my mom. It wasn't always as good as my grandmother's was, but good enough. And over the years, especially now when I start speaking to patients about bone broth, it's kind of made a resurgence. They get a little confused. They get this inquisitive look on their face, like, what do you mean bone broth, right? So they're not making the connection between chicken soup and bone broth, and a lot of them also think that chicken soup is really like the box of chicken soup or the can of chicken soup from Campbell's, which is really not chicken soup for all intents and purposes. So can you give us a little bit of history as to how you got involved in the company and bone broth, and maybe a little bit about the company itself?
Sure. Yeah, I started drinking bone broth about 2 years ago, and for me it was for a health need. I had digestive issues, and it culminated in appendicitis, and there was something good wasn't going on down there. So I wanted to find a way where I could help myself naturally, and to be quite honest, I had never heard about bone broth or a chicken soup or anything like that at that point. So I started researching online, looking for different ways that I could help myself. I came across bone broth. I started making it for myself, and it actually healed me. It helped a lot, and so I've been doing 2 cups a day for the last 2 years. I feel a lot better doing that. Anybody who has digestive issues, and there's so many things that it does help. It's a really, really just nutritional healing powerhouse. I really highly recommend it too. But yeah, we've been doing it for about 6 months as a business. We do a lot of shipping across the nation. We go as far as the East Coast.
Okay.
And anybody that needs it, can go to your website and check out the articles on it. There's a lot of health benefits around it, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that a little bit. But.
Yeah, great. And can you tell me, for all the viewers and followers out there who are curious, as I was originally, as to why the name, what's the significance of the name H.O.P.E Broth?
Yeah. So most people that make bone broth, generally it's kind of plain, to be honest. It doesn't really have much taste or substance behind it. And that when I was making it, it kind of started off like that too, and I really wanted to find a way to really make it taste good. Okay. So I had one of my really good friends is a French chef. His name is Terry, and I said, hey, can you come help me, make this thing taste really good? And kind of in his honor, we named it that. H.O.P.E in French is the good broth.
Oh,
so
good broth.
We named it that.
That's great. Well, bone broth is good, yeah. So that's an appropriate name. Do you Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the history behind bone broth?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like you were kind of alluding to before, I mean, bone broth is kind of, I guess, just a newer name for it, but it's been around for thousands of years. It's been a healing staple and a nutritional staple for just forever. People have been using it. I think it's kind of getting a new name, bone broth, because it's not just, say, pure chicken. You have beef, turkey's being used now, there's lamb, there's a lot of different animal bones that are being used in it. And what we do as a bone broth is we actually combine chicken, turkey, and beef all into one.
Oh, great.
So not only does it taste a lot better, because a lot of people that drink, say, just like a straight beef broth, it can be kind of a little harsher taste.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've experienced that before. And a lot of people actually don't care for that too much. So by putting the different types of bones in there, the chicken bones, turkey bones, balances the taste a lot better, and it's also a little more nutritionally balanced too, since you got, a lot.
All the different
Yeah.
animals. Great. I know, in most cultures traditionally, bone broth is a staple not just as a soup, but as a stock, as part of what they would cook their grains or rice in, their vegetables, certainly in stews and so forth. You know, bone broth, whether it's meat or chicken, similar to like fish stock,
Yeah.
right? Fish stock, fish soup, fish bone soup for all intents and purposes.
Yep.
All of those stocks are really nurturing and healing to the gut. Can you tell everyone a little bit about some of the healing properties and why they might benefit from it?
Yeah, I mean, well, aside from, you have tons of minerals that are inside there, amino acids, glycine, proline, and I think a lot of it, the reason why it's healing to, say, people's intestinal linings or guts is the collagen and gelatin that's inside bone broth, which is huge. And a lot of that comes from the connective tissue and a lot of joint bones. And if you have carcasses that you cook with, like we use chicken and turkey, you have all that comes from there. And collagen, a lot of people don't know, it's 25 to 35% of your body. It's the building blocks of your bones, your tendons, your joints.
Yeah.
So it's so important. It's crucial that we get that in a whole food. And bone broth is just filled with it. Whenever you have a bone broth that you have in the fridge and it gels up, that's the collagen inside, and that's what's healing you.
Yeah, it's what gives it the flavor and the taste too.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I find with patients and what I've found over the years, and some of you may have also found the same thing, is that for me, all health issues, maybe not say all, okay, I'll say 90% of all health issues really start in the gut. And if we can heal the gut, heal the intestines, we set the foundation for the rest of the body. And I find more and more that my patients have digestive issues, some minor, some extreme. And so that tends to be at the crux of a lot of my treatment plans and recommendations with patients. And I find that if we can heal that, then we really set the stage for everything else, and hormones can be regulated and balanced. They get the proper nutrition from all the amino acids, as you mentioned. The collagen and the gelatin really are nurturing and nourishing to the body. They provide, the love, as I like to say, to the body, and make everybody feel good inside. And so I get a lot of questions from my patients when I speak one-on-one with them about that connection, like why we are healing, why I'm focusing on the digestive system and not my hormones, is what they say. I have a patient who recently said to me, so I wrote out her whole treatment plan. It was a lot around her digestive system, and she said to me, so where's the thing for my fertility? Right? And I had to explain to her that really everything that we're doing is for her fertility. It's not a one pill or one point or whatever it is, or one food that's going to heal it. We've got to heal the body from the inside out, and fertility is about healing at a cellular level and really regulating hormones, and much of that really begins in the digestive system and the gut, and that's really why I end up recommending quite a bit of bone broth to patients. Now, I do say often to patients that I want them to cook it at home at least a couple times. I want them to get used to cooking it and making it in a crock pot and so forth, to get used to it. But as I know, as much as I cook and I love to cook bone broth, it's difficult. It takes time. It's a little time consuming, although the crock pot does shave off some of that. It makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just want it and I have to make it because I'm out. And that's where I think the convenience of ordering from Bone Broth comes in, because they can have it overnight, I think, and just keep it in the freezer. When they're ready, they can use it. So how can our viewers get the bone broth from you guys if they want to, or they want to kind of put that in with their cooking of it as well?
Sure. I know we're doing an article with you, and they can go to the article on there. What'll happen if they order through that article is it'll come next day in an insulated shipping container with some dry ice, and it comes frozen.
Great.
So it's really convenient. They're 24-ounce bags. They're bags that you can stick in the refrigerator. They'll last 7 to 10 days in the fridge. If you order, it depends on the order that you amount, but if you order more, you can always stick whatever you're not using in the freezer, and that'll last, 6 months or more. So,
Great.
and then all you need to do is just, basically open the package, let it thaw in the fridge for a day or two, and then you can pour out what you need. Generally, a cup or two a day for most people would be very healing. It just depends on the condition. Some people, we have patients that are referred to us with really chronic health conditions. We urge them to drink a little bit more. It just depends on what the person is trying to address.
Great. And once they open it and it's in the refrigerator, can they keep using it for several days? Like it stays good for a while?
Yeah,
Okay.
that portion will stay good 7 to 10 days in the fridge.
Great. Great. Hopefully they're probably using it much faster than that.
Yeah.
So really to kind of elaborate on your point,
Yeah.
and for everyone out there, when I'm asking patients to cook the bone broth at home, I'm really particular about the type of meat and bones and quality of the product that they're getting and vegetables. So I know you guys use it, but I'm stressing it for everybody out there, is your meat needs to be grass-fed, the chicken or turkey needs to be pasture-raised and grazed. Your vegetables need to be organic. You're trying to put in the most nutritious food as possible into your bone broth, and I know that's what they do at All Bone Broth. So you can trust in their quality when you order from them, but if you're also cooking at home, you really want to get the best quality of food so that you're getting the best nutrition for yourself, and that goes whether you're cooking it or ordering it, and that's why we trust All Bone Broth for their bone broth. So if you want to read more about it, you can look at the link below in this article below this video. You can also find it on our blog post on our website as well, and if you want to go to their website, that link from the article will take you straight there to order and read more about it. For those of you who are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I encourage you to do so, and to follow us there. And additionally to our newsletter, there's a lot of things that I share in my newsletter that I don't share anywhere else, like on YouTube or Instagram. We really keep it to those people who are following us privately, and try to share some little tidbits and fun information with them that we wouldn't share anywhere else. So I encourage you to sign up to our newsletter as well. The link below, once again, is in the summary for the All Bone Broth and for the blog post. And thank you so much for watching and joining us today. Thank you, Steve, and I wish you all the best. Do you get my emails with fertility tips? If you don't, you're so missing out. To get access to all the secrets to get pregnant fast, you need to be part of my newsletter. I share a lot of things there that you can't find anywhere else. Click here so I can send you 5 secrets to get pregnant fast directly to your inbox today.